Hello guys! So welcome to another one of my deck guides, and today we are going to talk about arguably the best deck in meta, your red blue ace. So if you are very worried about playing this leader because you don't know if you can do the calculation, is it too difficult for you? If you are okay being defensive and waiting out the game until you have so much more resources you overrun your opponent, this is a deck for you. But if you are the aggro kind, you just want to hit the opponent very quickly, end the game fast, then this deck, even though it's so good, you might struggle playing it a little bit. If you look at the standings for September all the way into October, you can see the Ace really is probably the best deck in meta. Look at all the points it's gaining. So overall, I think if you are trying to get consistently good results, Ace will definitely be something you want to consider. Are there concerns that you fall off in Imu 03 or OP14? OP14 is still a little bit too early to say, we don't have enough cards out yet to know whether it will impact Ace. But I think for EB03, maybe someone will argue that the Robin card might be a bit of a challenge. 8k, you don't want to get rid of it on the board. But I think because it's a 7 cost card and you have enough white beard, right? Actually, you can just ignore the fact that the Robin is still there and you will still be able to overcome your opponent. So I don't think Ace will fall off as the king of the meta anytime soon. I didn't keep track of how many games I played, but I felt like I played a lot of Ace during these couple of days preparing for this deck guide. I find that sometimes if you just look at the gameplay and you just listen to me explain, you might not remember all the key learning points. So I just thought that I'll note down these learning points for you guys to take away, especially those of you who are new to the game. It gets a bit confusing if you're just following the video, right? Okay, if this is helpful for you, please comment down below, and I think in the next few deck guides that I do, I'll try to do another summary like this. But if this is not needed, then I'll just make the video shorter. So let me know. Alright, so this is my deck guide for Red Blue Ace. I just want to explain to you guys why this deck is so strong right now. So we are looking at like this PRB02 Mako card. It's a blocker, draw 2 cards. You have your Yamato card, which draws 2 cards and activates your leader effect with no other penalty. You have your 10 cost card that generates another extra card for you because you draw 2, trash 1. So all these things make Ace a very powerful leader in terms of resource generation. If you think about the fact that when other cards like your Yamato, your Jozu, all your 6k card, when it gets destroyed, you get to draw another card, right? The amount of resource it can generate really is the most amazing one we have seen so far. I want to say that Ace really seems to be the most consistent leader right now. Why it's consistent is because of the good searches it has. So searches allow you to exchange that card essentially for a card that you want a little bit more. So in Izo, right, you actually kind of get to do that twice. When you activate its effect, the other effect, you get to sub 1 card in your hand which you don't want for a draw. The other thing is that you have Garb. Garb is probably the best searcher we have seen. So it works like the theme song card, but it's a character with counter. And lastly, right, even if you break, let's say you have one of your big cards, you have 2 secret rare Roger in your hand, you can easily either exchange it out or use it as a 2k counter, making it such that even cards that seem to be brick are no longer bricks. This allows you to play cards like Red Rock in the current meta without being too worried about how it will pull your deck down against the Imu Matchup, because at the very least it becomes a 2k counter. Okay, so now we want to put the spotlight on this 10 cost Newgate card, which is arguably the best card in meta. So this card is so well rounded. One, it draws, then it's a blocker that is 12k. The more turns on the field, the less counter you use, the more resources you have. So that's very insane. On the turn it's played, even though it's not a rush, it generates 4 attached dons, which means 4k additional damage for you on the turn that is played, making it also quite aggressive on the turn you play it. I think it's borderline broken, to be honest. So the last reason why I think Ace is so good is because I think it's the best deck with Secret Rare Roger, even better than RP Roger. So number 1, you have that consistency. With Tech, you can search it. OP01 Sanji, you cannot search it. But the thing that really makes a difference to me is actually your 9 cost Whitebeard and your event card, because this creates a situation where you can allow yourself to be at 0 life and then give yourself a 10k leader for full turn. Your leader is quite untouchable. 10k is really high. With the amount of counters you're going to have in your hand, you will probably survive that turn quite easily. And then the next turn, you will be able to play Secret Rare Roger relatively safely. Otama is also a good option for me. So 1 is 2k counter, 2, if you just need to, your hands up, you didn't mulligan correctly, it also gives you the chance to exchange some of the cards in your hand, so it's also helpful. I know some people who don't really play a lot of Otama because it's not searchable. Your option is to put in another 2-hit counter that is Whitebeard. I just don't really think it's that necessary, and I appreciate being able to get rid of bricks from my hand. The next card to talk about actually is your Pudding and your Atmos card. These two cards to me functions more as like especially a mirror counter, because of course Pudding you can get rid of all the resources that Ace managed to accumulate and then you end your opponent. And Moss is good because with your Whitebeard cards in hand, you actually get to bounce back PRB02 Mako, which is actually a super broken card, which is why it's good for the mirror. Then I think Jozu is particularly good for this deck because you see the number of searcher, 1 cost card that you have. It's a super good time to be playing Jozu. It's good against Ace, it's good against Roger when he's playing Born Clay. It's really a fantastic card to have in your deck right now. I didn't put Tex Newgate because right now, right, I actually don't think it's very good in meta. One, Zoro can just hit you 2 times with your 12k, or get rid of one of your character and then heal 2 times 12k if he has that event card. So what if you tax him? Against Roger, he has a lot of rush cards, so actually you tax him, the impact is also not like super high. Against Imu, he can just use the Grose and then shuffle all the cards, and 5 of his Grose is going to have none of the tax effect again. It's a little bit more effective against Imu, but still not the greatest. So I actually think Tex Newgate doesn't have too much of a spot in the current meta, if we were to be very honest. Then I think for Uta, right, is if you are a red deck right now, you just play Uta. It's ridiculously good. 2 costs for a blocker, and it's also 4k attack. It's just insane. Basically, you use 2 Dawn, you might be able to hit 4k in the next turn. It's a super good card, I think, right now. Okay, the last card that is more, I think, optional. Some people will choose to play like event card, Frankly Laser Beam, to be more defensive, but I think Red Rock is just the way to help you consistently win against RP Roger, and also the trigger effect can help you to get your Mako, so that is also a plus point of this card. Again, right, it sucks against Imu, but because it's Ace, it's okay. So here we are going to start second because that's the more advantageous position against the Imu, and if there's no Searcher, no Mako, usually I will always mulligan. Okay, so if you're playing on the Steam, right, please do remember to see what's the card that they discard, because you really need to know how much counter they have in your hands. That's great. So Garb Searcher. Garb Searcher in this case, I think I don't really need Jozu. I will take just one more and Whitebeard card since we might be running out after that. Okay, I have to think to the later stages of the game. One of it I'm probably going to need to use on my 8 cost turn, and the other one I want to save to make sure I can do my 9 cost Whitebeard into Secret Rare Roger combo. Okay, so 2 Venus in the graveyard. I mean in the trash. Wrong game, sorry. I don't think I want to take this. I don't see a need to take it, since I feel like I may not need the Tetch. So this turn, he's not able to play Mars because he's starting first, which is a big advantage for us, generally speaking. So there are 3 Venuses in his trash. Tells me that the likelihood of him rushing me the next turn is probably relatively low. Okay, I like this. I can hit him 7k twice. Him 7k twice. So against Imu, I don't feel the need to protect the Mako standing for like the majority of the game, because eventually when he Gorosei's you, one of these 2 cards will be KO'd anyway. So it's okay even if you don't have the blocking effect. So the next turn, right, we would probably want to take damage because you don't have the 10 cost Whitebeard here. So these are the time where you kind of have to intentionally take damage. Right? Still no Whitebeard in sight. Okay, so when there's no Whitebeard like this, the only thing we can do is to draw more cards. Still no Whitebeard. Really bad draws. 7. Let's do a 7 and a 9. The benefit of also not playing that Whitebeard on the 8 Dawn turn sometimes against Imu is if you see that there's actually no Stasi in his trash, so there's a good chance that he's holding it so that he can use it against you on the 8 Dawn turn. So it's not a complete like waste. Ooh, the Whitebeard. Okay, so naturally, since we have so many of the event card, although sometimes you do want to keep them to use as your 2k counter in the later part of the game, but I'm just going to set up a Uta here. Discard a card. Okay. 1, 2, 3. He has used 3 of the ancient weapons already, which is pretty good for me actually. He's at 1 life left, that's really good for me. Ah, Stasi. How important is this 6k for me? Quite. I would like to keep it. Because the next time I'm going to use Whitebeard again, I get an 8k hit in. I will use the Yamato to resolve it. Right, so I can just easily use another Whitebeard here. To trash, I think I'm going to let go of this pudding card. Okay, one of the reasons why I don't always use pudding against Imu, even though it seems like theoretically really good, is because sometimes Imu will play so quickly that they have too many cards in their hands but no cards in their deck, and with your Whitebeard all up, right, sometimes they're actually pretty close to drawing dead. Pudding then saves them from drawing dead, which I will try to avoid in general. Okay, that's really good for me actually, that he's attacking a Yamato, because I get to use my leader effect, which you slowly can't do anymore when you set up all your Whitebeards on the field. Because no one's taking damage, you're not likely to... The risk of taking damage with your ace, you have to control it a little bit, so actually it's okay for Yamato to go at that point. Oh, this is a pretty poor move by him actually. I could easily just... I'm gonna let go of... yeah, I'm just going to... $6k in. Get rid of Tech. Let's see if you still have one more Stasi, because I might want to play my... Okay, I can't play Roger here. Yeah, I think I'll just go with this. I do actually want to take 1 damage from this guy, so that I can get to 0 the next turn. Oh, another Stasi. Interesting. Interesting play. I might not have enough to take him down with the amount of cards he has in his hand, even if I Roger. So 10k? Yeah, he can... I have to play 1 more extra turn actually. Let's do that. The Stasi play again was a bit not so advantageous for him. I don't think it was a very good move. Yeah, so I need like a 12, 12, 10 to use both the 10 and the 12 and one of my ace to get rid of all his counters before I can end the game with a 12 and 13. So you cannot actually not play this card even though you are so close to being able to use Roger. I think sometimes when people play ace, they get a little bit too anxious, which puts them at a very unfavorable position in the game. So do remember that you are playing for the late game and be as patient as possible. Okay, and in this case, I have another Uta that I can work with here. So I'm pretty certain that I'm set for the game. Okay, so he has one 4K counter in his hands, and maybe another 2 3K counter in his hands. Yeah, so it's hard for him to win, he knows it. With the Secret Rare Roger, the game is over for him. This combination for the Newgate into Ace is just too strong for him to handle, because the only way he can try to end the game is to hit 3-3-3, and there's no way he's going through all the blockers. So Ace really, when starting second, chances are you will win an Imu, unless the Imu is really a lot better than you, and that's the strength of this deck. Okay, so again we want to start second against Roger. So Roger is actually stronger if he starts first, but also a lot less consistent. So we can just actually pray that he don't get to ram on the 3 Dawn turn, and if that's what happens, you actually get a pretty quick way to the victory. I'll say that against Roger, always have a Red Rock in hand, so that you can do something about the Shanks in the later part of the game. Okay, I might want to hold this to bounce back the Bond Clay. I will take it. Yeah, 6 Dawn turn for him. Usually he will try to play Bond Clay if he has it in his hands. Right, so it really was more prudent to find a way to deal with the Bond Clay. Yeah, I might Jodu instead, I think. Nah, I'll just take it first. Okay, so Jodu here. The probability of him using the Bond Clay again the next turn is actually very high. So to ram to your 10 Dawn. Okay. It's amazing that I don't have a lot of 2K counters in my hand this turn. Very, very peculiar. Not typical for my hand. Yeah, I have to do this, sadly. Yep, no choice, we have to take the damage. I'm letting go of this card now, since I'm going to take the damage from the Bond Clay. Yeah, I mean, you let it go. Since you can do it twice, it doesn't make sense to block it. 11 to... Okay. Yeah, I'm prepared to take one from the Shanks. Okay, so definitely Red Rock Shanks. Gonna try to get rid of the Bond Clay like this. Okay, I'm gonna Gup to get myself like more longevity in the game. And then put out Uta for defense. Six Dawn, he wants to play maybe Gaban, I think. Oh, not Gaban. This card is not great for him. Right. So I'm gonna try to stall the game out until I have like all of my Whitebeards on the field. Oh, event counter. I think he doesn't have big cards in his hands, so he's going to, like, as a Roger player, I mainly play Roger, right? When you have no big cards in your hand at this stage of the game against Whitebeard, it's just painful to play, like super painful to play. And meanwhile, you see your opponent just like racking things up. This is quite demoralizing for if it was me. Okay, so there isn't a point of in me not like attacking with this right be at this turn. I have too many blockers already. If I don't attack with this, it's a bit silly. Right, so I just want to defend against a situation where he takes another life here, and then his blocker is still there. It's just a wonky situation for me. I don't really want that. He's not going to attack with the locker most likely, and he's not attacking with the shanks. Very interesting. That gives me the liberty to do so much more though. Very strange play by him. Yep. Yeah, I'll probably use Tetch instead against Roger, because I can't be on the turn where he gets to use Roger first, you see. So the secret rare white beard combo don't work against Roger, at least not nearly as well. So 8, 9 is good. Oh, he's going to lose. Yeah, he's probably going to lose. I was going to put Uta, but I decided against it. He's not going to survive in the next turn. It's not possible for him. The amount of cards he has left in his hand is too low. I mean, I can actually take this, and he will still not be able to do anything to me. Let me think about it. Right, he might play like a lot of Utas. I feel like I should play it safe. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so he decided to play another blocker. Still not great for him, I think. I can pause him to get rid of his event card if he has any in his hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. I won, I think. He has nothing left, so this is maximum 3k. 11k he has to block. Okay. So again, right? Maximum 11k. Hitting him with 12k. Maximum 11k, I'm hitting him with 12k. Not thinking straight. 11k, I can hit him with 11k. He will have to either take or block again. So 11k, he will have to take. Right? And then we will end it. So 2, 2, 2, 6, 13 is the maximum he can have, since he has no event card. And we win. So against Red Purple Roger, actually if you're starting second and you manage to put out all your white beard cards, you usually win. And then I think what's really important is that you need to hold on to Red Rock if you can to deal with the shanks. If you manage to put like 2-3 shanks out on the field, right, actually you might lose the game. So what I tend to do is that if I search or I manage to get a Red Rock in my hand, I will keep it and just wait until the shanks come out, or in some other cases wait until the Roger come out, and then I'll win the game. Oh, also against this Zoro, usually Zoro likes to start second against Ace, but I guess he just wanted the perfect curve for himself. But it will give me a slight, also give me a smooth curve, and usually it's a bit advantageous for Ace. Okay, but my starting hand is not the best, admittedly. Yeah, so for Zoro, right, always try to play Garb as your searcher because of Huri. Right, you want to have that 2k into 0k ability to clear their searcher here. Okay, this is a bit of a risk for me. 5 dawn turn, I guess he will try to play Tashigi. Okay, because sometimes you want to keep that when he plays the 2-way counter Mihawk into Zoro, the one that will restand. Because if they do that, it gets a little bit tricky for you. And using this, we will bounce it back, so the Zoro. So sometimes that is the play to make. Okay, so I actually want to get like Jozu or Yamato. So Garb again is the better choice. So here we'll take the Jozu to defend against the Tashigi the next turn. Oh, right? This was what I was talking about. So usually we get the Atmos to bounce back the Zoro. This combination works very well both against Roger and Imu, but it's slightly not as good against Ace because we are a consistent 6k character. It would be really weird if he's going to use the event card here. If he Mihawks, it doesn't really affect me. There are no other good 3 Dawn cards though. Okay, I'm just going to take it because I feel like I want more cards in my hands. This is pretty good. Okay. Right, so this card doesn't defend his Tashigi. I wonder if this guy knows that. Since it doesn't defend the Tashigi, I don't feel a strong desire to deal with it, frankly. I do want to make sure that I can get my event card, so we are going to search here. Okay, I'll prioritize the searching. And then we are just going to 6 and 7. I would have loved it if I have a Yamato, but we don't. Okay, so 6 and 7, he's taking 1 damage for me. Probably. If he defends this, it's a very strange play. He has no cards, yeah. I think he might be breaking this guy. So Law into Tashigi, very good combination as well. Just wonder if he... oh, Cavendish. So he doesn't have Tashigi in his hands. So please remember not to like use the Izo effect if you are considering playing Jozu, because that means you have nothing to bounce back. Okay, here I'm going to just defend it like this. Okay, and then we can use the event. In the trash a card, I will probably trash Catch, frankly, because there's more utility for the Yamato card. Okay, I'm not very afraid of the Mihawk, it's more the Cavendish that's worrying. So since it's just it's two cards either ways, I'm just going to attack the Cavendish in hopes that we can get rid of this guy. Great! So he has very little counter in his hand as well. Yep, the Tashigi is here. Oh, 6k. Okay, I think I will use Yamato. Yeah, because you use blocker against Zoro, it's almost like you're not using the blocker either ways. Okay, I do want to do this. Oh, he didn't stand this. I guess because he attacked is I didn't know it worked like that, because I used this ability first. It's not considered to have hit Izo, so that is a mistake that he has made. I wasn't familiar with that dynamics actually. That rarely happened because you don't usually attack the Izo, so that was an interesting dynamics. Okay, I've used one event card, one is sent to the bottom. I might want to save this for Newgate. So I guess we are doing this. I should have used the event card. Okay, 8k into... because the 6k damage is going to build up for me, so that is not the best. Okay. And then we are getting rid of the Tashigi here. Kind of regret like sending one of my Whitebeards to the bottom of the deck right now. Should have saved it. It's interesting that I haven't really seen Mako in this play. Oh, he wants to hit me twice, I think. Okay. Now I'll place the Mako down. And the Uta, I think. 8k should be enough. Okay, then Izo, get the another Marco in. Okay, that's a pity. I'm gonna lose the right, that's good. So that's a pity. I lost the SEC Roger. This can go actually. Yep. I didn't think that far. It's a misplay by me to not think that the Tashigi with the event card will be able to deal with me the way that it did. Oh, that's okay. Strange move by him. So we want to force him to use the event card. Right. I feel like situation looks like pretty bad for him actually. Cause I'm just gonna repeat the same move. If he does that again, he will be in a world of pain actually. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably win the next turn if I live. He has very little of the event cards left. Yep, another event card. Okay, I can play this again. Okay, let's try this. I think I won. Okay. 7k. And then he has to block it. And we are done. Right, so I think against Zoro, if you play right, I didn't play a perfect game here actually. I made quite a few mistakes. I didn't think about the Ashura card and things like that. So, but even then, right, I think when things go well and you can put enough blockers on the field, even though Zoro is generally good against blocking decks, but I think Ace just have too many blockers, so you can still win in the end. Alright guys, so this is all for my Red Blue Ace guide. Hopefully this has helped you a little in understanding this possibly best deck in the format. I think Ace is going to hold itself well against your OP13 and EB03 leaders, but overall I think that just because this card and the event card is still in meta, Ace just can't be very weak. So hopefully you can give this deck a try, maybe use how powerful it is to win some standard battles and flagship along the way as well. I think even if you are just starting out, Ace is so strong that knowing a little bit of the basics for the dynamics and how it works can really get you, when you're lucky, into like just squeeze into the top 8. So try this deck out and comment down below if you think there's a better way or other cards that you think might be helpful for this deck. Alright, until the next time, goodbye!